So this is how you get yourself bootstrapped to use Johnny-Five to control your bot. Here I have a fresh out of the box Arduino Uno. This is a clone from SaintSmart, which is nice because it has these extra 3-pin headers on all the pins, which makes wiring up the components really easy. I like some sort of visual feedback to know that everything is working once I'm done, so I'm going to use an LED. I'll just connect it up to pin 13. Now, you may have heard that pin 13 has a built-in resistor, so you can just plug in an LED bare, but it turns out that this is old information, which has now become common misinformation. It used to be the case, but it isn't anymore. If you don't use a resistor, you risk burning out your LED or worse, damaging your pin. So you can just take a resistor and twist it together with the smaller lead on the LED. And then plug the longer lead into pin 13 and the other end of the resistor into the ground pin right next to 13. Now we can plug the board into the USB cable. You'll know that you have your LED hooked up properly because it will blink when the board boots up. Now we need to get some firmware loaded on the board. We're aiming to use Johnny-Five, which is a JavaScript library for controlling the board. But the JavaScript doesn't run on the board directly. It runs on a controller computer that sends commands back and forth over the serial USB cable. And the serial communication protocol is called Fermata. It is a generic protocol that several host implementations have created for Ruby, Python, C#, Java, and JavaScript, to name a few. In this case, Johnny-Five is just one of those implementations of the host side of Fermata. So in order to load Fermata, we need to get the Arduino IDE software. And you can get that right from the Arduino website. Once you have downloaded and installed it, you can load Fermata out of the examples folder. We want to use the standard Fermata file. Just click on Upload, and you're good to go. We can close out the Arduino IDE, and we won't be using it anymore. Now we need to install the Node tools for Visual Studio. This will install Node as well as all the Visual Studio plugins necessary to develop from the Studio IDE. Download the 2012 or 2013 version, depending on the version you are running. When it's done, you can create a new project. You'll go to the JavaScript Node.js templates and choose a blank Node.js console application. Now that you have a project, you need to install the Johnny-Five package. For some reason, it can take a really long time the first time you open this UI. I'm guessing it's a beta thing. When it's done, search for Johnny-Five, select it, and press Install Package. This is a lot like using NuGet, but it's using the NPM subsystem in Node instead. Once this is installed, you can write your app. Just to get things running, go to the Johnny-Five website and copy the example script. This script requires Johnny-Five, creates a board object, and then configures the LED once it is connected to the board. Johnny-Five has abstractions for all sorts of common components. In this case, we can just tell the LED to strobe. Now, just press the Run button. You should see that the LED is strobing. From here, you can do anything you want in Node.js from Visual Studio. Take a look at the documentation for Johnny-Five. Create a servo object, for example, and control your servo from JavaScript. Listen for keyboard events and respond to them by controlling your hardware. Since you're in Node, there's nothing stopping you from creating a web server or a REST service from controlling the bot. Use an external device like a phone or a tablet to make REST calls to your bot. The possibilities are endless. Also, it's probably worth noting that the Node tools for Visual Studio also includes a debugger. Set a breakpoint, and you're debugging right from the IDE. It's pretty cool. Have fun.